Did you bury the lead there? How did you all put this together? Her dancing, singing, doing all this, pregnant.
Listen, she's an incredible individual. That's all I can say. She's a one of one.
But still, she's pregnant. That is a lot. I mean, that changes everything, didn't it? When you went in, what was the whole process when you found out?
I mean, for us, it was just focusing on the performance. So what's going on in her life, we were dialed in on the performance. It was just about that choreography, picking those songs, getting that creative, that production. That's all we were focused on.
Okay, let's talk about the insane floating stages, how you came up with that, how you pulled that off, the look, the danger of that in an open stadium.
And, and apparently she's scared of heights, but she got it together for this. I have to give the credit, Willow Perrin, her creative director, came up with that idea along with her choreographer, Paris, and it was just unbelievable. We were on a grass field, there were weight concerns, and we were like, you can only do this much on the field. And they were like, well, we'll just put it all in the air. And
that's the genius of the heat reports and where you can and can't stand.
Exactly. This is a grass field, and it's it's like a sponge. And so if you had put last year's halftime show on that field, it wouldn't have worked.
So how did you acclimate her to the height?
We've been working since November. She was flying in December back in LA. So we've been just getting her ready. And then she got here last week, and practically every night she's been flying.
What was that like the first time you put her up on?
I mean, I was impressed because I went up 10 feet and had them bring me back down because I was terrified. But she was 60.
That was 60 feet high?
She was 60 feet high, and she said she was actually more comfortable all the way up at the top. She loved it at the top.
Wow. How did you fix the set list deal? Because I heard you were changing the set list, or at least that's what she said.
Oh, yeah, she was up to version 39, right? Yeah, it was just, she has a massive catalog, not a lot of time, and her and Adam Blackstone just noodling, and she wasn't going to be ready until it was absolutely perfect.
What were the biggest challenges for you producing something like this in that stadium?
I think it's the first time we've ever done something where the performer is primarily in the air for at least 30-40% of it. There's so much intrigue around her, so keeping everything quiet, not easy. The set list I saw today, people were betting, there were odds on what the first song was. So, we had to rehearse way out in the sticks in LA and Santa Clarita to keep it all secretive. It was a lot of work.
And then how do you keep it secret that she's pregnant? That's hard too.
Because it's none of my business. I don't have nothing to do with nothing.
She also did this alone. She stood alone. How was that choreography? How did you do the choreography and everything for her to do it alone?
I think it was just her wanting to make the statement that she could carry this thing, and she did. And people just want to see her. And so she had to give them a show. And she did choreography. We haven't seen her dance like that in a long time, and I thought it was just spectacular.
How do you take a deep breath? You pull off another one of these, and what goes through your mind as that thing ends and she gets risen up into the ground? What goes through your mind? Because you've pulled off a couple of incredible Super Bowls.
I just think, honestly, as soon as it's done, I was like, whew, now let's get her back down. Just get her back on the ground. That's all I want to do is get her back on the ground. But the relief that everything came off the way we wanted, it was a lot of prep, a lot of nerves, and just really happy to be a part of it.
So you knew back in November that you were going to fly her, so you had to start in November.
It was always the plan to have her fly like that. It was never a primarily on the ground show.
Was there ever a thought? We saw Khaled get here. We saw Jay-Z was here. Was there ever a thought of adding him to the show? It was always her.
There were a lot of ideas kicking around, but we landed on just her. She landed on just doing it herself, and she was right.
100% right. Explain the dancers and the outfits. Explain that to me.
Listen, you'd have to get with her team about that. They designed those outfits. It was kind of an alien vibe that she said she was going for, and it was incredible. The choreography, I thought, was spectacular.
So I want to just make it clear that grass starts dying as soon as you bring it in, is what I heard.
Yeah.
That was the big thing.
We've been killing grass all week.
Yeah, what has that been like? The pressure from the NFL.
Listen, the NFL has been really supportive, but they've also let us know that every day we would get those heat reports on the damage that we were doing to the field, and we would have to adjust things because player safety is key, and we want to make sure that that everything is the way it's supposed to be.
You're incredible. You are. I mean, seriously, I can't. It's incredible. I'm literally like, I walked in and I saw those stations. I was like, what is that? And then they started floating, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
No, it's like, but you got to think about it. It felt like a high fashion. That's who she is.
But that first shot was incredible.
Oh no, it was insane. It looked like CGI.
How did you get that first shot?
Hamish got that. We were with the steady cams. We're looking at it, and we debated a long time about what the opening shot was going to be, and then Hamish discovered that, and everybody was like, "That's it. We're done. That's the opening shot."